Hey YouTubers, I just finished my my bow, my Osage bow. It's finally finished. I finished the whole thing now. I've got a handle on it. I've got a see a black leather handle on it here, and I've got a snakeskin that I've polyurethane. I glued it on with tight bond wood glue, and then varnished over the top of it or with polyurethane. And now since this bow's been sitting on my bow rack for months. It sat all summer long and dried out, and it's seasoned. This thing's fully seasoned now, I believe. And also, I believe that my sinew has been on here for a year. And finally, my sinew is set, and now the bow is much stronger. The bow now is about 70 pounds, about 71 pounds. I put it on a scale. It's about 71 pounds at 28 inches. Well, if I could string it, I'd be all right. I don't want to break it. Okay, it's strung now, which took some doing there. But yeah, it's really hard to string now. It's super strong. And got snakeskin, and I finally today I put the I wrapped the ends with string sorting. The end of the snakeskin so it doesn't come off, and we should have burned that little tag in there off a little better. Okay, and this end here the same way. It's not real smooth, but I'm happy with it because it camouflages the bow. Now it's not, you know, bright orange like that side out in the woods. Now it's, you know, I got some camouflage for it. So both ends are wrapped up and the bow is finished. So I'll as soon as I get a good my other camera going here, I've got a camera here that I need to get batteries and a cable for to download the videos onto my computer. So anyway, the bow's finished after a year, guys. I started about this time last year. I started on this bow, and it's now finally finished. It sat on my bow rack here for it sat there a good 6 months and never got shot at all. And when I pulled it down to restring it, it's not an easy task to string and unstring. You see the arrows I've got on there are all bone tip arrows, you know, all handmade arrows, Japanese honeysuckle and wahoo arrows. Combination of both. And that bow sits right there with my other bow up there is a Shakespeare bow. And then I've got my zombie club and my can of darts. And this is a cheese can, a grated cheese can. Let me take this off and show you here. Grated cheese can. I keep set this up here, and I keep my blowgun darts in this, my broadheads, and they're pink and red, and blowgun darts for when I'm squirrel hunting. They're I like this stuff because they're quiet. I like to be stealthy when I'm in the woods. I don't want, when I kill a squirrel, I don't want everybody for 100 miles to say, oh, wow, there's somebody over here hunting. Let's go steal his food. Let's go steal his food. He done killed it for us. When you say, all right, I'm going to just steal his. There's my pair of World War II binoculars I bought. For $5 at an antique store. And I also bought a mess kit, World War II mess kit that I bought for $10. And got a bull roarer I made that I painted, just like basically a piece of wood shaped like a surfboard with a kind of Aboriginal design on it there. It sounds pretty good. You see there's my water bottle and my my cup. I've got crap laying around all here. This is a little thing full of flint, just pieces of flint that you know, stuff I keep for fires, you know, for my flint and steel. Just extra pieces. That piece I got is real sharp. I like that piece because it's like a little knife. You know, I could use that for. You could probably skin a deer with that right there with that rock. I know you could if you napped it a few times and made a serrated edge on it. And some of these have several of these have serrated edges on them already. Some of them are like little razor blades. That's got a little hook on the end of it. That's like a little razor blade, like a hook blade in this whole blade here. Yeah, flint shards are a good thing to keep, I think, in my opinion. Let's see here. Well, it's kind of, here we go. Oops, I gotta turn my camera back around so everybody can see me. Okay, I also have my dispatching club for when I'm trapping. I have this piece of Osage orange that is super heavy piece of wood that you'll never break. And it's heart, as you can see, it's heartwood. That's the very center of the heart right there. They're kind of pithy, corky like piece in the very center of it, but that's the heartwood. And I know that they used to use this stuff to make billy clubs with back in the day, back in the 20s. This was the stuff they wanted for billy clubs because it was really hard, and you can crack anything. And I mean, I've hit and broke 2x4s with this thing. Literally, snap a 2x4, snap the end of it off. Anyway, yeah, that's something I like to carry around. I make all of my own. All the gear I can make, I try to make myself. All I have for everything I have for all my gear. I've got, I make my knife sheaths. My preferred two survival knives right here. I'll show you both of them. This is an M-Tech. Used to have a paracord handle. I put a deer antler handle on here. It had a paracord handle. I don't know if it's the camera adjuster real quick. Okay, it's got tiger stripe, the tiger camo on it, and it had a paracord handle, but the paracord handle kept slipping off the end when you're, you know, trying to cut with it. So I took and put deer antler and put it on here myself with, I made a rivet out of a nail, basically, rounded the end off, and, you know, it's not perfect by any means, but it works, you know. That's all I care about. I like this little finger thing here on this knife is, I like the Tanto blade. It's full tang, you know, full tang knife, very heavy steel, good with a lanyard on it, you know, fits my hand. So fits my hand pretty nice, you know. But anyway, my point is I'm making my own stuff. I made the sheath. Just 2 pieces. I buy scrap leather from Hobby Lobby and cut out my own stuff. You can buy the snaps. You can buy those, like you can buy a whole bag of like or is it 25 or 30 of them for $8. And the tools to put them on there, the crimping tool to put them on there with. I made the sheath for this knife. This is an old Winchester knife I bought at Walmart for $10, and I like that because it's surgical stainless steel and holds an edge real well. I make all these bags. This is my ammo bag for my slingshot, or my slingshot sling bow, which is right here somewhere. Yeah. Canterbury sling bow, you know, right there with the green paracord. I didn't like the bright pink that it came with, but anyway, there's the sling bow, and I use lead shot for ammo. I made this other bag here. This is one of my just a bag, not necessarily a survival bag, but just a bag I made out of really soft leather. I like the button slides. I put button slides on most of this stuff, which is just sliced off, well, yeah, sliced off deer antlers. I've got 2 pieces there. There's buttons with, you can almost see the holes. But anyway, they've got their buttons. They've got holes in them. And I also made a haversack, my own version of a haversack. I've seen a few, and just this is what I come up with on my own. I've seen a few. It's not perfect by any means, but hey, it serves its purpose. I've got a bag of some tinder in there, fire tinder I carry all the time, and I'm always pilfering. Every time I see it, I got anyway, I got a good bag of fire tinder. I'll show you what kind of fire tinder I've got in here and show you why. Most people know this anyway, but well, that looks like char cloth, and that is birch bark and cedar bark combined. Yep. Yeah, birch bark. Just a little tiny bit of birch bark I've got that's really papery dry, and a cedar tinder bundles that's good, make a good bird's nest. It's fairly small, but if you build your fire right, you can, you know. I'm pretty sure this is char cloth. Maybe. I'm not even sure. I haven't opened this one up in a while. And yes, this is char cloth. Bags of separate bags of char cloth. But and this is a pair of old cotton underwear, I believe. Yep. I've got a big tin. Oh, how charred that stuff is. But anyway, one of my fire kits. That's my magnifying glass. Big deer antler button on the front of that with a hook sticking out of the top of it there. Anyway, I've got a bowstring in here for my Osage bow, a sinew string. This real deer sinew. I made that myself. And magnifying glass, huge magnifying glass. I can start a fire. I like the bigger magnifying glass because I can start a fire with this faster. And if I have to, if the stuff is damp with a bigger magnifying glass, you can dry enough stuff out for fire tinder if you don't have it, and you know anything else will burn. If you get fire hot enough, it'll burn. But you can dry stuff out with the magnifying glass. And I found that out years ago. I had a big screen TV that was had a bunch of little circle cuts in it. It started from a small circle and went outward when you looked at the back of the screen, and the whole big screen was a magnifying glass. And I took that out in my backyard, and with that magnifying glass, I drew a bead, and I instantly had fire. I mean, it wasn't. There was no waiting to it. It had fire instantaneous. I mean, you didn't have to wait for nothing. I mean, even green grass was poof. It was that hot. And I like that big magnifying glass. I've since threw it away, but I wish to God I wouldn't have, because you can start a fire on a cloudy day with that thing. I mean, it was super, super hot. And you could start a fire even if the sun wasn't out. But anyway, I use this with char cloth, and that is my first choice for fire, is this right here, because you don't waste any resources. You use the sun and its power, you know, all you're using is what you gather for tinder. And I say, if the sun comes out after it's been raining, if it's been raining for a few days, you can take this stuff and you know, you can dry it out and cut a feather stick, and you know, or several feather sticks, and make a fire. But anyway, this goes in my haversack, and I've got this little. I put this little flap when I made this. There's a little flap here that kind of covers the contents, that helps them keep from falling out when if I have to fill this thing up. And also, when you wrap this, I like the simple wrap on here because I don't like complicated buttons. Because when your hands are cold and you lose your dexterity in your hands, who wants to pick at a button, man? I tried when I remember being little, how hard it was to unbutton your jacket that had regular slot buttons. Those were, in my opinion, were a pain in the butt, man. You had to sit down and wait for 10 minutes before your hands could thaw out enough to take your jacket off. But anyway, I'm rambling on here. Anyway, like I said, I like to make everything myself. I also like to make, for the survival stuff that I like to teach. I myself, I don't like eating bugs. The only thing I like around here that's edible are persimmons. And that's about the only thing I could think of that grows, well, other than mushrooms. And there's a few mushrooms that grow in the fall, not very many, which is the time of the year I like it, because you can't mistake too many of fall mushrooms. Because it's the only time of year they grow, like these, like wood bluets. I collect these wood bluets. They're very good survival mushrooms. I mean, and they have a purplish tint to the stalks, to the stem here. The top sometimes around the edges a little purple, and the gills are purple, purple, purple. These right here are kind of dried out. Well, and they don't look right on camera, but they are purple. In fact, if I can show this light. Here's another one. I'll show you. Got a very long stem on it, but if you look at the bottom underside of the mushroom, those gills are bright purple, and they don't have any fuzz around the edge. There's a I've heard, I've never seen them, but there's one that's supposed to be a duplicate of these. It gets fuzzy around the edge. If you see those that have fuzz on them or a ring around the edge, leave them alone. And I would check these out on the internet, which is how I found out what they were. Was I went to purple colored mushrooms and found wood bluets and one other mushrooms, because I noticed when I picked these that they were bright purple, and found out that they're good edible mushroom. And I have dried, so I like to dry them out. I've got several. You can see I found a pretty good patch of them, and they're really pretty mushrooms. They're solid stem. No ring around them, or vola, I think is what they're called. That little ring, like the Amanita muscorias have. The Amanita families have that ring around the white ring around the outside of it, right there, around the bottom of it, right there. If they have that white ring on them, leave them alone. They're lethal. Any mushrooms that you don't know, if you don't know what they are, leave the mushrooms alone, man. It's the best bet, is just leave them alone. There are a few mushrooms I will pick. Trumpet mushrooms I pick because you can't mistake them. They're shaped like a little trumpet, and they're either dark brown, black looking, or gold colored. If there's not one of those two colors, leave them alone. And morels. I know what morels look like. I know that if there are false morels, but they don't look quite like morels. And I do know the difference. I've picked morels and ate many of them. And I've also seen I've seen the false morels. And where did my can go? Okay. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'm just trying to pass on a little knowledge, and I'm rambling on now. So thanks for watching. But if you don't know mushrooms, if you can't positively identify mushrooms and know what they are, they do have hen of the woods around here, and I've picked some of those. But if you're not positive about a mushroom, leave them alone, man. Mushrooms can be deadly, especially the Amanita. Any ones in the Amanita family they're deadly. Don't mess with them. Yeah, don't mess with mushrooms, man. If you don't absolutely positively identify them, don't mess with it. Get with an expert, man. Get with somebody who knows what they're talking about and can show you hands-on what they look like. And I don't want to see anybody out there get poisoned or eat anything. Don't put anything in your mouth. Well, use common sense. Don't put anything in your mouth if you're not positive what it is. If you pick mushrooms, pick them at your own risk. Persimmons are better to stick with, man. Leave the mushrooms alone. Just eat the persimmons. Thanks for watching.